This is the video lesson for U.S. Citizenship, Just the Facts. In your packet, turn to the page that says U.S. Citizen, Just the Facts. You will see a reading. This video is going to walk you through the reading. You need to have a pen or pencil and a highlighter if you want ready, because after each section, you're going to be asked to do something, and you're going to need to mark the text. So, please be ready, and when you are, press play and continue on with the reading.
Citizenship means being a member of a country and having full rights and responsibilities under that country's law. Some people are born a United States citizen. People who are born in the United States are automatically citizens at birth. So are people born outside the U.S. to parents who are born citizens. The rules can get a bit complicated for both born outside the U.S., who have only one citizen parent, but generally they are also citizens at birth.
This section should have been like a review. We covered most of this last week. So for this one, I just want you to underline or highlight the definition for citizenship, and then write it in your own words next to it on the margin of the paragraph. So underline or highlight it, and then also write down your definition on the side of what a citizen is.
Becoming a U.S. citizen. What if you weren't born in the U.S. and neither of your parents are U.S. citizens? You can still become a citizen through a process called naturalization. To qualify, applicants must be at least 18 years old and have been permitted resident of the United States for 5 years. There is one shortcut. People who served in the U.S. military for at least 1 year can become citizens sooner because they have demonstrated their commitment to the United States. Applicants must also have good character, speak English, and pass a civics test and an interview. As a final step, they must take an oath of allegiance, swearing loyalty to the United States and our Constitution.
This section should have been a review also. We covered this last week when we went over the steps to becoming a citizen. So what I want you to do is either to underline, highlight, or circle anything that would fall into the requirements that you must do to become a naturalized citizen. So go back, look through the paragraph, and anything that is a requirement of something you must complete or you must do before you become a citizen, either underline it, highlight it, or circle it. After you finish that, continue on with the reading.
Citizens owe it. People who go through the naturalization process aren't the only ones who must be loyal to the United States. All U.S. citizens owe allegiance to our country. Treason is the act of betraying your country, and the U.S. Constitution makes this crime punishable by death. People who are born citizens may not think about allegiance as much as those preparing to take the oath. But you can probably remember a time when you said this word, maybe even this morning. Americans often say the Pledge of Allegiance to show loyalty to the United States flag and the nation it stands for.
Allegiance. Citizens owe it. What this means is that since the citizens get so much from the government we create, we owe an allegiance, or like we have to give respect to our government. We need to work for them. We need to support them in order for them to keep helping us. So, a way we show allegiance is by saying the pledge every day. By saying the pledge, we're putting our hands over our heart and saying that we honestly support the United States and we want to help do what's best for the United States. I pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. So, allegiance is showing support for your nation, backing your nation, saying you support what your country's doing. Now, if you do something and you commit treason, which is when you betray the country, so if you were to be a spy and you sell information to another nation, that could be treason. You'll be arrested, and because you betrayed our country, the United States, you could possibly be punished and put to death. So, allegiance is showing support for the country, and if you do something to betray the country, it's committing treason. So I want you to underline or highlight the key words, the two words treason and the word Pledge of Allegiance, in that reading. That way, you understand the two important topics from this paragraph.
Love of country. Beyond owing allegiance to the United States, most of the citizens feel a deep bond with their country. We call this feeling patriotism. Many citizens get emotional when they hear the national anthem, which is called the Star-Spangled Banner. Every 4th of July, Americans celebrate Independence Day, the day that Declaration of Independence was signed in 1776, when the American colonies declared their independence from Great Britain. Other national holidays, such as President's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, honor the lives and sacrifices of important Americans. Memorial Day and Veterans Day are two national holidays honoring those who lost their lives or served in the U.S. military, and can be emotional for days for many U.S. citizens.
Rights in the United States. The United States is known for the rights and freedoms given to those who live here. The first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution are called the Bill of Rights. They list important rights that are guaranteed to all people in the United States, not just citizens. These are rights like the freedom of expression and the freedom to worship, assemble peacefully, and petition the government, as well as the right to be free from unreasonable searches by government officials. But some rights are only for U.S. citizens. These include the right to vote in federal elections, the right to run for federal political office, and the right to serve on a jury.
All people in the United States have rights. Those rights are what protect us from the government. They're the things that we have that the government cannot take. Now, all people in the United States have certain rights, whether they're from another country or not. They have the right to worship whatever religion they want, to assemble peacefully, which means gather in groups, to petition the government, so write something, request something from the government. These are rights that all people have. Now, there are some rights, though, that you have to be a U.S. citizen to be able to have. That's like the right to vote. You have to be a citizen or a member of this country in order to be able to vote on what's going on in this country. Another one, to run for political office. So that's something that you'd have to be a member of the United States, a citizen of the United States, to run for political office, to help run the country. So what I want you to do is I want you to circle any rights that any person, whether they're a citizen or not, has from this paragraph, and underline any rights that you have to be a U.S. citizen. And then on the margin, on the side, I want you to draw a circle, and I want you to write everyone, and I want you to draw a line, and I want you to write U.S. citizens. This way you know when you go back and look, the circled ones are for all people, and the underlined ones are for U.S. citizens. After you've done that, continue with the reading.
Responsibilities too. Along with all these freedoms comes some responsibilities. Everyone in the U.S. is responsible for obeying laws. Citizens are also responsible for voting in elections and serving on juries when asked. Yes, there are both rights and responsibilities. Male citizens between ages 18 and 26 must also register with the Selective Service System in a time of national emergency. This agency is authorized to call up these citizens to serve in the armed forces.
So it's nice to have all those rights, all the rights you have, guaranteed, but you also have some responsibilities, some things you need to do to help the government be successful. The first responsibility is everyone needs to follow the law. If you're following the law, everyone can live a nice, happy life. Also, you're responsible if you're called up to do jury duty. Jury duty is whenever you join a jury and you listen to a court case and you decide the person is innocent or guilty. Because that's the fairest way in our kind of government, a democracy where the people are in charge. The people are deciding whether that person committed a crime or not. And also, a very important responsibility is you need to vote. If you're not voting, if you're not telling the government what you want and want them to do, then they're not going to do it, and then you're going to be upset. So if you don't vote, it's like not even telling them what you want in the first place, and then how do you expect them to do it? So these are the responsibilities you have. So I want you to underline or highlight every responsibility from this paragraph. Now, I want you to look over this timeline. Start at the top in 1776 and read down through each one of the steps. This is the progression of citizenship, so how the definition of what a citizen of the United States has changed. As you can see, as you go down the list, more and more people are defined as a citizen. So the Constitution, the laws we have for this government are ever changing. So they change to meet the people at the time. So in 1776, the definition for a citizenship is a lot different different than in 1971. So go through these, read through them, and underline or highlight any time a new person or a new group of people can become a citizen. After you finish marking the text, be sure to go back, review over any of the marked materials, and then continue on with your packet.